You're not crazy. You just keep choosing someone who makes you feel like you are. You checked your phone 14 times in the last hour because he hasn't answered. And the longer the silence gets, the more your chest hurts, the more your stomach tightens, the more you replay every single thing you said today, every message, every word, looking for the moment you did something wrong, looking for the version of yourself that was too much, too needy, too present, too honest. And the worst part? You already know this feeling. You've felt it before, not just with him, with the one before him, and the one before that. It's always the same man. Different face, different name. Same knot in your stomach at 11 p.m. when the screen stays dark. Same voice in your head that starts quietly and then gets louder. What did you do wrong? Why isn't he answering? What's wrong with you? Same hands that type a message and then delete it. Because you don't want to seem too much. Because you've been told, directly or not, that your feelings are too much. That your need for reassurance is too much. That wanting to feel chosen by the person you're with is somehow asking for too much. Standing in the same silence, holding the same weight. And you told yourself this time would be different. You chose him because he felt different. He wasn't. And the question that keeps you up at 2 a.m. isn't really about him. It never was. The real question is why you? Why does this keep finding you? Waiting. Shrinking. Hoping that this time the silence will end differently. In the next 20 minutes, I'm going to show you something nobody has ever said to you directly. Not why he ignores you, but why a part of you stays when he does. And I need you to stay with me until the end, is the one that is going to sit with you for days. Before him, there was a little girl, and she learned something very early. She learned that the people she loved most were the hardest ones to reach. She would come home from school, backpack still on, shoes still tied, hands still cold from outside, and she'd walk through the door already hoping, already searching for his face, already calculating whether today would be different. And she'd find him sitting in his chair, eyes on the TV, or on his phone, or on his own thoughts, or on anything that wasn't her. And she'd stand there, 3 feet away from him, close enough to touch, miles away from being seen, waiting for him to look up. He didn't. So she tried louder. She'd say something funny. She'd show him something she made at school, something she made specifically thinking he would like it. He barely looked. So she tried quieter. She stopped asking for things. She stopped making noise. She learned to take up less space. Because asking and not receiving hurt more than not asking at all. At least if you don't ask, you can pretend it's because you didn't need it, not because he couldn't give it. Do you remember the first time you made yourself smaller so someone else could feel bigger? How old were you? 7? 9? 11? The first time you swallowed something that hurt? But because you already knew nobody was going to come. Because that moment, that exact moment, was the day your heart wrote its first rule about love. Love is something you earn. Love is something you wait for. Love comes from people who are hard to reach. Easy love doesn't feel real. Safe love feels boring. And the people who show up consistently, something must be wrong with them, or with you for accepting it too quickly. That rule got written so early that you never even saw it as a rule. You saw it as just how love feels. And every single relationship since then has followed that rule. Even when you didn't want it to. Even when you chose someone thinking this time it would be different. That rule was already running in the background, choosing for you, before you even knew what you were choosing. That's the first thing. But here's what happens inside your body when he goes cold. And this is the part that explains why you can't just decide to walk away, even when every part of your mind knows you should. When he ignores you, your brain doesn't slow down. It explodes. Every second of silence becomes a question. Did I say too much? Did I ask for too much? Was I too available? Too honest? Did I come on too strong? Should I have waited longer to answer his messages? Am I too much? You go back through every message you sent, reading them like evidence in a trial where you're already the guilty one. You find the one that sounded needy, the one that revealed how much you actually care. And you hate yourself for sending it. Then you tell yourself to stop thinking about it. And you think about it more. You put your phone down, pick it up 30 seconds later. You open the conversation, close it, open it again. And maybe right now you're thinking, that's just anxiety. That's just how I am with everyone. But here's what's actually happening. Your brain learned a long time ago that silence means danger. That when someone goes quiet, it means they're leaving. It means you did something wrong. It means you are something wrong. So it goes into full emergency mode. Fix it. Find the problem. Make him come back. Replay every moment until you find what broke it. And then fix yourself so it doesn't happen again. Not because you're crazy. Because you learned this before you had words for it. Before you were old enough to understand what was happening. Before you had any other choice. And when he finally answers, one message. After hours of silence. Like the first breath after being underwater too long. Like the best thing you felt all day. Better than any conversation with someone who actually shows up for you. Better than any kind word from someone who tries. Because that feeling, that relief, like finally being seen after waiting too long in the cold. Like finally being let in after standing at the door too long. That's the trap. The waiting creates the wanting. The silence makes the noise inside your head unbearable. And then one word from him makes it stop. And your body says, this is what love feels like. But there's something worse than the trap. Something that keeps you in it, even after you can see it clearly. I'll show you in a moment. But first, there's something you need to hear about yourself. Something nobody says to the woman standing in that silence. And here is what no one ever told you. She's not desperate. She's not stupid. She's not too emotional. She is loyal. Deeply, painfully loyal. Loyal to a feeling she has known her whole life. And that feeling has a name. It's not love. It's recognition. Think about the last time he made you feel small. When he didn't answer for a full day. When he looked at his phone while you were trying to tell him something that mattered to you. When he made you feel like wanting his attention was somehow your fault. When you left a conversation feeling smaller than when you entered it. And you couldn't even explain why. You just felt it in your body. Your chest, your stomach. That tight thing in your throat that you swallow down so you don't seem dramatic, so you don't seem like too much. You've sat in a bathroom after a dinner with him, crying quietly with the tap running so he wouldn't hear you, tears running down your face, hands gripping the sink, trying to figure out what you did wrong this time. And then you fixed your face, splashed cold water on your eyes, took a breath, and went back out, and smiled, like nothing happened. Like you weren't exhausted from holding it together for someone who never asked you to. You've done that. Not once. More than once. You know exactly what that bathroom feels like. The cold tile. The way you had to breathe slowly so your chest would stop shaking. The way you looked at yourself in that mirror and told yourself to hold it together. And here is the hardest thing I'm going to say today. The part that is going to stay with you after this video ends. You don't just tolerate his coldness. A part of you trusts it. More than you trust the warmth. Because warmth feels unfamiliar. Warmth feels like something that gets taken away the moment you start to depend on it. But coldness feels like something you know how to survive. Coldness feels like home. And I know exactly what you're thinking right now. That's not true. I want someone who loves me. I want to be chosen. You do. Both of those things are true. And you also flinch when someone gets too close. You also find reasons why the kind ones are boring. Something feels off. Something feels too easy. Something feels like it won't last. You also feel more alive in the uncertainty of someone like him than in the quiet safety of someone who would never make you cry in a bathroom. Both things are true at the same time. You want to be loved, and you don't fully trust it when it arrives. Because the first person who was supposed to love you without conditions made love feel like something you had to perform for. Something you had to earn every single day. Something that could be taken away if you weren't careful enough. And that gap between what you want and what feels familiar enough to trust. That is where you have been living for years. But here's what I haven't shown you yet. The third thing, the thing that keeps you stuck even when you understand all of this completely. Even when you can see the whole pattern right now, in this moment. It lives somewhere you cannot think your way out of. Your mind can understand everything I've said today. Every single word. You can see the pattern. You can name it. You can trace it all the way back to that chair, to that little girl waiting with her backpack still on. And tonight, your body will still reach for him. Not because you're weak, because your body doesn't learn from understanding. It learns from repetition. And you have repeated this for years, every single day, teaching your body what love looks and feels like. You repeated it the first time you apologized for having feelings. You repeated it the first time you made yourself smaller so he wouldn't pull away. You repeated it every time you checked your phone and felt that drop in your stomach. Every time you rewrote a message 4 times so you wouldn't seem like too much. Every time you said I'm fine when you were not fine at all. When you were sitting with something heavy and swallowing it down, because you'd already learned that bringing it up would cost you more than staying quiet. Every time you cried alone in the dark instead of telling him you were hurting. Because somewhere along the way, you learned that your pain was an inconvenience, that your needs were a burden, that the safest version of you was the one who didn't need anything at all. Every single time, you taught your body that this is what love looks like, and the body remembers everything. Every silence you accepted as normal. Every need you buried so deep you forgot it was there. Every piece of yourself you left behind to keep someone close. The body kept score. And it is still following that score today. Still following instructions written by a little girl who had no other option. Remember her. The one with the backpack still on, standing 3 feet away from the person she loved most, waiting for him to look up. She didn't choose this. She just learned to survive inside it. And slowly, she became you. And you have been so loyal to everything she had to do to get through. So loyal to her silence, to her smallness, to her way of making herself invisible so the people she loved wouldn't leave. And yet, knowing all of this, you'll probably still check your phone tonight, hoping it's him, feeling that familiar drop when it isn't, feeling that relief that is bigger than it should be when it finally is. And that is the most painful part of everything I've said today. Not him, not the silence, but the fact that you can see all of it now. You can name it. You understand exactly where it came from. And the wanting still doesn't stop. You came here asking why he ignores you. But you already knew the answer. Some part of you has always known. You just needed someone to say it out loud, without judgment, without telling you to just leave, without making you feel stupid for staying. He ignores you because your silence trained him that ignoring you was safe. Because every time you stayed after being ignored, you showed him that he didn't have to try. Not because you're a pushover. Because staying felt safer than the alternative. Because the goodbye felt more terrifying than the silence. Because, at least in the silence, there was still something. And you stayed because staying in the almost felt less dangerous than asking for all of it. The silence is still there. It has always been there. In him, in the one before him, in that chair where your father sat, looking at everything in the room that wasn't you. And part of you still believes that silence says something true about who you are. That if you were different enough, quieter enough, better enough, less of everything that you are, someone would finally stay. Someone would finally look up. The silence is still there. And part of you is still standing in it, waiting, just like she always did, with her backpack still on, hoping this time will be different. It's okay. You don't have to have this figured out tonight. You just have to know that what you feel is real, and that it started long before him, and it will still be here after him, until you see it clearly enough to stop following the oldest rule you were ever given. And yet, here you are, still waiting. But that's a conversation for another day. If this video touched something in you that you've never let anyone name before, there's something else you need to see, because this pattern doesn't only live in him. It lives in how you speak to yourself when no one is watching, in the voice that calls you too much and never enough at the same time. That's what the next video is about. the silent daughter.